What's up everybody, it's Broken Bones here and welcome to Broken's Bedrock Tutorials. Today we're going to be showing you how to make a tunnel bore. Each one of these modules is a tunnel bore, and every tunnel bore uses TNT, flings it forward, and then breaks the blocks in front of it, and this tunnel bore works on netherrack, stone, and even deep slate. And I want to give a big shout out to JC Playz because this is originally his design. I've just modified it to make it infinitely expandable. And just like always, before we start a tutorial, I look at YouTube to make sure that I can find a dependable design that I like, and then maybe go off of that one. What I searched on YouTube before I started this tutorial is I searched up infinitely expandable TNT tunnel bore, which I did find some designs, but none that were dependable. The only one that I could find that was truly dependable was JC Playz's design. Over here is the remnants of one of the designs that I tested, and as you can see, the front of it no longer exists, the TNT portion of it, because it blew itself up. And I don't want that to happen to you guys after you put all the work in, so I bring to you a dependable and reliable TNT tunnel bore. This machine right here is JC Playz's original design, and as you can see, we have a trap chest right here in the front. This is the activation. It's going to activate this dispenser, which slings out the TNT already lit and ready to go, and then this slime block pushes it forward and it lands out here on this ancient debris and blasts whatever blocks you have in front of it. Let's go ahead and watch that happen in real time here. So if we stand right here, we open up this chest, it'll go ahead and move us forward, sling the TNT forward, and then it'll go ahead and blast up. And as you can see, I'm using fairly much the same design, except there's no trap chest. We're using an observer with some pistons behind it to activate that dispenser there, which activates the whole flying machine and it moves itself forward. And our AFK spot is now over here, right here in the center, and all we have to do is hop in, activate this fence gate here, and it moves the whole thing forward, slings TNT forward right now, and then as you can see, all these modules will go ahead and blast up at the same time. And don't worry, you do not have to build my version this big. This is just an example to show you guys how big it can get. And I know most of you are probably going to be interested in only building one of these. So with that being said, go ahead and smack the like button for me and subscribe if you guys are new. Let's go ahead and dig into the tutorial, and a material list will be down in the description. To get things started, you are going to do a little bit of digging before you build this because let's face it, it's going to be underground and we're going to need a space to put it in. So you're going to need an area that's 17 blocks long just like this, and you're going to need an area that's at least 5 blocks wide from side to side like this, and also 5 blocks tall, 1 block underneath, and 1 block above. And if you're building multiple modules, then there's 5 blocks in between these, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just like that. So you're going to space your modules out and then go ahead and build them over and over again. So you're going to need to make sure that your area is wide enough for however many modules you have, plus deep enough to make sure that you can fit all of the flying machines in the back. And the size of that space will completely depend on how big you make your tunnel bore. The only thing that's going to stay the same is the height, which is going to be 5 blocks, which again is going to be 1 block above and 1 block below. So if you're building a single module, your front area should look like this. It would be 5 blocks wide by 5 blocks tall, and then you would have dug it out by 17 blocks deep in that direction. So once you have that, then you're going to come to the side in which you want the front of your tunnel bore to be. So this is going to be the direction that my tunnel bore is going to be blasting. So what we're going to do is we're going to come 1 block off the floor. We're going to place a block right there, right in the center. So 2 blocks on this side, 2 blocks on that side, 3 blocks above, and 1 block below. So this is very important. You want to start right there and come off by 3 blocks just like this. Then go ahead and place in yourself 2 ancient debris like so, and break out your temporary blocks. This is going to be the beginning of our tunnel bore right here. I like to use end stone right here, these next 2 blocks, because I have had issues with JC Playz's design. He has a glowstone right here, and it has broken on me before, which does break the machine. End stone has a higher blast rating, and it's not quite as expensive as ancient debris, so I definitely recommend placing that there to make sure your tunnel bore is dependable. And if you ever have problems with this blasting, which I haven't over there, just replace it with another ancient debris and make sure that that doesn't break again. So once you have that, go ahead and place in yourself a light source. I like sea lanterns. Then we're going to place in it 3 solid blocks and then another sea lantern just like this. Once you have that in place, you're going to come right down here to this sea lantern. Go ahead and place in it 3 temporary blocks like this. Break out these 2, and then go ahead and place in yourself a regular piston facing forward 1 block away from your light source and break this block out. Once you have that in place, go ahead and grab yourself a dispenser. Face it upwards right on top of that piston just like this. Take yourself a trap chest. This does have to be a trap chest. It can't be a regular chest. It does need to be there. This is going to be for your single module. If you're building multiple modules, do not worry about that trap chest. This is only for the single module version. And then once you have that in place, go ahead and come around back of this dispenser right here. You're going to crouch place an observer on the front of it with the red dot facing in this direction backwards from your dispenser. And then once you have that in place, you're going to go ahead and place in a slime block just like this. And then on top of that slime block, you're going to place in a regular piston just like that with a slime block right here. Go ahead and place in yourself a temporary block on this side and come right over here and place in yourself an observer just like that with the face of it facing out just like this. this, and the red dot should be facing into this slime block just like that. So once you have that in place, grab yourself a sticky piston. That's going to go right here just like this, and actually that's going to go this way just like that. And that sticky face needs to be facing towards this piston, because we're going to put a slime block there, a slime block there, and a slime block there. Next, we need to go ahead and come right over here. We're going to need to place in a solid block here. Grab yourself an observer and go ahead and place that on that solid block, and then that red dot should be right here, and the face of it should be over here just like that. So make sure that that observer is in the correct orientation, and then make sure that your piston is facing forward on top of it just like this. If you're building multiples of these, then you do not need this slime block right here. This slime block right there will grab that block just fine, but this is just in case you want an AFK platform. So if you want an AFK platform, come off of that by one block and then put two more solid blocks right here. This is so you can stand on this and operate this chest. So if you're building a single module, this is all done and dusted. Next, all you need to do is load up some TNT. So let's open up our dispenser, throw in some TNT. We're on our AFK platform, and all we need to do is open up this chest, let it fly forward, and it'll go ahead and start breaking blocks just like this. When you stand on this platform, you're going to want to make sure you're in the center block right here. If you get flung forward, there's a chance that you could get flung forward again and fall off this block, or come backwards and fall off again. So you definitely want to try to make sure that you stand right here, and then just open up this chest, and it'll go ahead and pop your inventory out. So, and if it falls like that, look at that. It's a visual glitch. Even though the TNT falls, it's just a visual glitch. Don't worry about that. It's just something that happens every now and again. See, it's going to fall again, but you're going to see the explosion happen right here. If you do see the explosion happen down below, then that is not a visual glitch. However, wherever the explosion happens is where the TNT is blowing up, and so therefore you can tell that it's just a visual glitch when it falls. So now that we showed you how to build the single version, let's show you how to build the infinitely expandable version. What you're going to do is you're going to get rid of this AFK platform. You're going to go just like this, break those 4 blocks just like that. Everything else you're going to need, and this trap chest that can go too. Depending on which side you are on the center, the piston and the observer right here are going to depend on what side of the center you're on, and I'll show you the difference. Here's the center of our infinitely expandable machine right here, and as you can see on the right hand side, the observer is on this side, and on the left hand side, the observer is on this side. So they're kind of facing each other towards the middle. So whatever way you are in the middle, so if you're off to the left, then your observer should be looking in this direction, and if you're off to the right, your observer should be looking this direction. So to change this up, all you would need to do is go ahead and break your observer, break your sticky piston, and break these 2 slime blocks. Go ahead and grab your slime blocks, put 2 more right here just like that. Grab yourself a sticky piston, place it in there just like so. Grab a temporary block, put it right there, and then put your observer on the other side just like this, and break out your temporary block. And again, I'll go ahead and switch it back just so you guys can see it again. You're going to break the sticky piston, 2 slime blocks, and the observer on this side. And if you wanted to switch it, then you're just going to go ahead and place in 2 slime blocks right there. Grab yourself a sticky piston, place it in there right to those slime blocks. On this side, grab yourself a temporary block and an observer facing in this direction right there, where the arrow is facing to that block. So regardless of how you have this flipped, this sticky piston could be on that side, the observer could be on this side, depending on what side of the center you're going to be on. But regardless of what side of the center you're going to be on, we're going to be placing an observer again underneath this observer. And to do that, you're going to come right down here. You're going to break this observer out. You're going to go ahead and place an observer right there just like this. You're going to grab another observer, and you're going to look right here at this dispenser, come down to this observer so you don't have to crouch, and place it in there just like that. And you should see that the red dot is facing backwards just like this. That's very important. So make sure that that's like this. And now you got yourself the observer right here. Next, we need to go ahead and place in ourselves a regular block right here just like this, and then a glazed terracotta block just like that. When that gets pushed forward, this observer is going to power that dispenser, which is the same thing as the trap chest powering it, and then it's going to go ahead and pull itself forward, which this glazed terracotta block will then be on that slime block, and it doesn't stick to slime, so this portion will get left behind, and it'll reorientate itself just like this. So once you have your first module in place, then you're going to need to decide how many modules you're going to want in total, and this is going to be an even amount of modules because there's a center and then a module to each side. So that's going to be 2, and then 4, and then 6, and 8, and then so on and so forth. So once you have your first module in, go ahead and come to the side that you're going to want to expand in, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and go ahead and start your next module there. And then of course this is going to be on the right hand side of my center. So if this is going to be on the right hand side of your center, then however many modules you build on the right, you need to go ahead and flip those around and build that many modules on the left as well. So as you can see here, all my modules on the left are faced the same direction, and I have 8 of them in total just like this. And then on the other side I have 8 more in total, but they're all flipped the opposite direction just like this. So as you can see, the arrow for the observer is facing that way, and over here the arrow for the observer is facing that way. So just the piston and the observer has been flipped, and so as you can see, everything on the right is in this orientation, and everything on the left is in that orientation. And again, you're going to be building an even amount of these. You're going to be building 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, or 16. And if you want to build this machine bigger than 16 modules, then feel free to go ahead, but that's as big as I'm going to be showing you guys how to build it in the tutorial. After that, it's pretty much redundant. You just got to do the same thing over and over again. So regardless of that, we're going to start it out with 2 modules, and here's the modules that we did in the tutorial. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and come right over here. We're going to break out that observer, and I want to show you this again. We're going to place that observer in there like this. We're going to turn towards our dispenser and place that observer in there just like that. If it's going to be on this side, same thing on this one. We're going to come to the opposite side of our observer. We're going to break that one out, place an observer underneath that observer, look towards our dispenser, face down towards this observer, place it in there like that, so that way both of the red dots are facing backwards just like this on both sides. And then once you have your observers in place just like this, go ahead and come right behind them, placing yourself a solid block on that slime block right next to your observer on both sides. Then grab yourself a glazed terracotta block, put those in right there. Grab 3 temporary blocks, place those in just like so, break these 2 out, turn this direction, and place yourself in a normal piston in that direction 1 block away from your glazed terracotta. Go ahead and bring this all the way across over here too, placing yourself a normal piston right there 1 block away from your glazed terracotta. Once you have that in place, go ahead and take slime and go ahead and bridge the gap over here. This could be honey too. All of these blocks could be honey, except for this one block right here. This is the only block that has to be slime, and so that has to be slime to fling the TNT forward. But if you want to use honey, then you can use honey for pretty much the rest of it. Just those blocks right there do have to be slime. So once you have your pistons and slime in here just like this, grab some temporary blocks, go ahead and come underneath, place in 2 temporary blocks right there, then go ahead and come back above. Go ahead and break out your slime, place in an observer facing up just like this. Go ahead and place in another observer facing up just like that, and then go ahead and break out your temporary blocks. And then once you have this in place, you're going to go ahead and place in an observer just like this, and then go ahead and grab yourself a solid block and place it on the face of that one. Make sure that the red dot is facing backwards from your TNT flying machines. Then go ahead and place a slime block on that one just like this, and then you're going to come right underneath, break out the slime block temporarily, go ahead and place in yourself a piston in there like that, and then replace your slime block just like so. That way, whenever that activates, it's going to go ahead and push this assembly forward. But now we need a way to bring this back, so we're going to go ahead and place in ourselves a sticky piston right here, right above that observer, and that observer will go ahead and power that piston. And now all we need to do is place in some slime blocks across here like that. Once you have this complete, then go ahead and break out this slime block here just for safety's sake, just in case you accidentally break this block right here. Go ahead and place in some slime blocks coming all the way up to here, 1 block away from your observers just like this. Then go ahead and place in yourself a temporary block there, and then break that slime block out there. That's going to be for safety. Then right here, we're going to place in it 2 more temporary blocks just like this. Break out that one, come over here and place in yourself in a sticky piston just like that, and break out your temporary block. You should have a 2 block gap here. And then over here, we're going to go ahead and place in ourselves an observer. So take a couple more temporary blocks just like this. Go ahead and place yourself an observer just like that, where the arrow is facing this way. Break your temporary block, and you should see the face of the observer is right here. Then go ahead and place yourself in a fence gate on the front of that one. Every time you open this or close it, that piston's going to fire. Once you've got this in place, then go ahead and come on down below your slime blocks right here and grab yourself an observer. You're going to place it 2 blocks in on your slime block just like this, and then you're going to have a regular piston right at the edge of your slime block like that. Next, we need to go ahead and place in a temporary block over here and a honey block right there. This does have to be honey. So come down by 1, come out by 2, and then come back up by 1, and it should hit that solid block right here. And then next, what we're going to do is we're going to put in the driving seat. So if you want to drive on this side where you're sitting right here and you're looking at the fence gate here, then you're going to do it the way I do it. But if you want to sit on this side, then you would just do it the exact opposite way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and take ourselves a sticky piston. We need to go ahead and orientate it in this direction. We're going to place that in right there, and again, you're going to do that if you want to drive on this side. If you want to drive on this side, place your sticky piston over here. So what you need to do now is grab some slime blocks. We're going to come up just like this and grab that piston right here. On this side, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get ourselves a temporary block just like this and set ourselves an observer up on it just like that, with the red dot facing in towards this honey block right here. Once you have this all constructed, go ahead and climb on top of your flying machine, and then get right on top of this piston here. Place yourself in a boat and make sure it's facing straight just like this, and get it as straight as possible so you have a nice driving area just like that. That's pretty straight. And so once you have that, you can hop in, and then you'll be able to look right at your fence gate and then trigger it anytime you want to move forward. So once you have this built up, go ahead and replace this slime block there, and go ahead and replace that slime block there just like that, and that'll connect everything up. And now your machine's pretty much ready to use. All you need now is some TNT. So let's go ahead and grab some TNT here just like this. There we go. Grab 2 stacks. Put one in here, and you can fill these up as much as you want. And when they run out, you will have to replace these if you want to continue boring. And again, you are going to need to make sure that the front of your machine has the same space as when you started, which is 2 blocks in front and 1 block below. So you definitely need to make sure that you have that before you start, again, just in case you run out. So once you have that, go ahead and hop in your boat just like this, and you should be able to flick this gate here just like that, and you should see that the TNT get flown forward just like that. You might see that falling animation, but as you can see, they blow up right there. If you would like to upgrade this to 4 machines, then the back part is going to be a little bit different. So let's go ahead and get started with that. First thing, we're going to go ahead and destroy this observer here. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this flying machine all just like this. Go ahead and get rid of this part, and you can leave this part for now. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to come to the 2 outside machines. Regardless of how big you expand this, you're always going to start on the 2 outside machines. So once you have the 2 outside machines, go ahead and come off of these by 3 temporary blocks just like that. Go ahead and break these 2 out, then place yourself in a piston just like that. It should be 1 block away from your glazed terracotta. Go ahead and bring this all the way across to your other glazed terracotta over here just like that. Placing yourself a piston in there just like so. Then you can go ahead and place in yourself an observer right here on the side, looking right at your piston just like that, and do the same thing on this side just like so. Now you need to do this exact same thing, but on these 2. So now your 2 most outer flying machines both have this flying machine that's going to be pushing it across, and then what you need to do is you need to come right here to the center, go ahead and place in some pistons just like this, and we're going to bridge across just like that, kind of the same way. We're going to take ourselves a piston just like that, take some slime on the back of it, bring it all the way across here like this to your last slime block right here. Go ahead and place in yourself a piston just like this, and then on the center one, if you're going to be placing it in the center just like this, you're going to come down beneath, go ahead and place in yourself 2 temporary blocks right there and right there. Break out the slime, place an upwards facing observer with the red dot facing up just like that. Replace your slime, do the same thing on the other side, break your slime, observer facing up. Replace your slime, break out your temporary block. Once you have these in place, go ahead and place yourself an observer right here, and then go ahead and take this block. You're going to place it right on top of that observer like this, break this block, and then go ahead and extend this all the way out. As long as this is not 12 blocks in total, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you also have to count 8 and 9 down here. So make sure that you have enough push limit for these, and if not, then you have to add another sticky piston on the end of it, which I'll show you if we expand it any bigger. But for now, if you have this, then go ahead and grab yourself a regular piston, come down below, break out that block, place a temporary one in there, and place in yourself a piston just like that facing forward, and replace that slime block, and then come back above and break out your temporary block. Once you have that in place, grab yourself a sticky piston, place it on the corner of this one right above that observer just like this, then grab yourself a slime block here and connect it all the way up over here. Once you've got all that in place, make sure you have TNT inside of all of your dispensers here, and then once you have TNT and everything, go ahead and hop inside your boat, activate your fence gate, and you should see that all your flying machines go forward and all your TNT gets flung out at the same time, and it should explode all at the same time. And if you wanted to expand this out to 6 machines, then we're going to change the back once again. So let's get started. We're going to come to that most outer machine. We're going to come back 3 blocks just like this, break these 2 out, place in yourself a regular piston just like this. Go ahead and bridge those slime blocks all the way over to your other glazed terracotta just like this over here. Then place yourself in a regular piston just like that, just like this, and you should have a gap in between those 2. Grab yourself an observer, place it in there just like this, and this is a pretty common flying machine for this machine, so we're going to be using this layout quite often. So once you have that in place, then go ahead and come to the other side. You're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to come off 3 blocks just like this. Go ahead and break these 2 out. Place yourself in a piston just like that. Bridge that all the way across to your other glazed terracotta like so. Place in another piston, and observers going into the sides of each of those just like this. And then once you have that in place, now we need to go ahead and do the same thing to here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come right over here. We're going to come out 3 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, just like that. Build yourself another one of these. So we're going to place in a piston there. We're going to come all the way across to your other glazed terracotta just like this. Once you're at the other glazed terracotta, go ahead and place in yourself a regular piston there as well. On the back of this glazed terracotta, since this one's so close, we're going to go ahead and add some blocks here because this is still under the 12 block push limit. Actually, don't put these blocks in here. Putting these blocks in here actually syncs these up all together, but then these 2 are slightly ahead of time, which makes the TNT blow up the end stone over here, which is not good. My end stone did blast, so don't put these in here. Go ahead and get rid of these just like this. Go ahead and come back to your piston right here. Go ahead and throw a slime block in there just like this. Throw yourself a regular piston in there like this. Grab yourself an observer. Go ahead and place a temporary block in there. Place an observer with the red dot facing sideways like that, and make sure it's facing into this slime block right there, and that'll go ahead and sync it up with the rest of these. And make sure you have a gap right here. Grab your observers, go ahead and place this in here just like this, and then this one over here just like that. There we go, right there. Then once you have that in place, we need to do the same thing back over here. So again, we're going to come back by 3 blocks, break these 2 out, put yourself in a regular piston, bridge all the way across over to your other glazed terracotta, just like this. Place yourself in a piston right there, just like that. Take some solid blocks, bring this all the way back. Over here, we actually don't want to place these blocks in either. Go ahead and get rid of all of these. Go ahead and place in a temporary block there and a slime block there. Grab yourself a regular piston, place that in there sideways like this, and then grab yourself another observer, place in a temporary block there, and then place yourself an observer sideways just like this, so the red dot is facing in towards that slime block just like this. You are going to see those blocks back here throughout the tutorial because it was only later on that I found out that this was a mistake. Then go ahead and grab your observers, place one in there, and place one in here just like this. Then for our final flying machine, which is going to be right in the center, we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing. Come back by 3 blocks, break these 2 out, grab yourself a piston, place it in there like that. Come across to your other flying machine over here, to the last block right here. Grab yourself a piston, put it in there like that. Grab your observers, place one in there, and place one in here, just like so. Then on top of this one, we're going to go ahead and place in our observer with the face facing this way, with the red dot facing back and the face over here. Once you have that in place, now we need to go ahead and extend this, so that block is going to go right there. And then I wonder if there's going to be beyond 12 blocks. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's the maximum push limit, so we can use this, which is good. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place a temporary block in there. Go ahead and break this one out. Grab yourself a regular piston, place it in there like that, and replace that slime block just like this. Then once you have that in place, grab yourself a sticky piston and place it in right there. And because of that, we're actually going to need these observers to be on the bottom. So go ahead and break those out, place them down here, place in a temporary block, place in your observer facing up with the red dot up like this, and break that one out. We need to do the same thing on this side. So temporary block, break that one out, place in an observer facing up just like this right there. There we are. Place in your slime block, break that one out, so that way now that block is being powered, so we can place in a sticky piston there and then hook it up to here just like that. That way that'll all activate. And then once you have all this in place, you should be able to come back to your boat right here. Make sure everything has TNT in it just like we have before. Go ahead and flick this fence gate, and you should see that every module throws TNT forward just like that. And again, it should all explode at the same time. And as you guys saw in my clip, my end stone did blast, but even though this has a high blast resistance, every once in a while it can break, which I recommend putting in a 3rd ancient debris if that's the case. If you're having problems with that, run 3 ancient debris on that machine. That really shouldn't break all of them. Only some of them might break, and in those cases, use ancient debris. But if you don't have any and you just want to use end stone, that's perfectly fine. You can replace it with end stone. It'll work for you most of the time because it does have a high blast resistance, but every once in a while it does break, and so I recommend placing in a 3rd ancient debris if that's becoming a problem for you. But other than that, all of our machines work just fine, and so I'm going to leave the rest of them alone, and now we're going to expand it to 8 machines. So if you're going to be building 8 machines, then you can remove all those other flying machines, and you can remove these blocks as well behind your glazed terracotta right here in the middle. Go ahead and get rid of those, and now I'm going to go ahead and install all the other machines. And so again, whenever you expand your machine, you're always going to start on the last 2, the furthest outside modules just like this, and then put this flying machine right behind the glazed terracotta blocks. We've built this several times now, and I don't think it's needed to show you guys how to build that again, because it's pretty simple and it's pretty redundant to show you guys over and over. So once you guys have these behind all of your glazed terracotta blocks just like this, then go ahead and add 2 more of those machines right here behind those other machines so they both get pushed forward. Then add this machine right here with one side having a piston and the other side coming right where your other slime blocks are, right in line with that on both sides. Then go ahead and add your last flying machine just like this, so each one of them should get pushed forward just like in this layout right here. And so once you have that in place, then go ahead and bring your temporary blocks down below just like this. Break out your slime blocks right here, place in your observers facing up just like this, and then once you have that in place, then we can go ahead and build the rest of this. So what we need to do now, place in yourself a observer just like this and replace your slime block right there. Once you have that in place, then go ahead and place a temporary block in there, break this one out, grab yourself a piston, face in that direction just like this, replace that slime block there, come to one of your corners, place in a sticky piston like that, and wire it all the way up like this. And now once that's in, go ahead and break this slime block here, place this block on that face, and then you can go ahead and replace this one. Then what we need to do here is we need to actually go ahead and make sure that we have enough blocks here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, just like that. So that's 12 blocks right there. So what we need to do is we need to actually go ahead and remove that block and remove this block, and we're going to go ahead and place in a sticky piston just like this. So now we have 10 blocks up to here. This is going to be 11. This is going to be 12 down here. So we need to add an observer on the bottom looking up just like this. So that way the red dot is facing into that slime block just like so. And now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and hook this up to there. So go ahead and add slime blocks in there to where it touches your sticky piston. So now once you have that in place, you should be able to come back up to your boat here, go ahead and hop on in, and then flick your fence gate. You should see that your module gets thrown forward, and then shortly here in a bit, all the TNT gets thrown forward on every module, and it all explodes at the same time. And if you want to expand your system once again to up to 10 modules, then this is how your piston layout would go in the back. We've covered this several times now, so I don't think I need to explain this over and over, but nonetheless, there's a few things that I want you guys to notice. Again, we are starting out at the two most furthest modules, then we skip one, and then we do another one here just like this, and then here in the middle, we go ahead and extend those out. Again, here in the middle, we're not going to add the blocks. We're going to put these two piston pushes in here just like this. As you can see here, when a module is being pushed by one piston, it doesn't need to be pushed by another, so we don't have a piston on this side right here. So you only need to place the observers on the pistons to where each flying machine right here has at least one piston pushing it, so that way it'll all get pushed forward. And then when you come back to the center right here, again, same thing right here. This is a one-sided piston flying machine because there's nothing to push right here, so keep that in mind. But the back part is all the same. All you have to do is extend this slime block to where it matches up with your solid block on the face of the observer, so that way everything gets pulled forward when you activate your fence gate up here. Then everything should get pushed forward, and here's the 10 block layout right here. So I'll let you guys go ahead and take a screenshot of the screen with the layout just like this, that way you guys can see that for if you're going to have 10 machines. And then as you can see, if we hop in here and you make sure that everything is loaded up with TNT, you should be able to flick your fence gate. All 10 modules here should throw their TNT out just like that. There we go. As you guys saw in that last clip, as we start to make these machines a little bit bigger, sometimes the TNT machines do glitch out and the TNT doesn't ignite and get thrown forward. If that happens to you, then you will need to come out here and manually break the blocks because the blocks won't get blasted by the TNT. So now that you've seen this expanded a couple times, I'm going to just show you the layout. If you wanted to expand it up to 10 modules, this is the layout that you're going to want. So go ahead and take a screenshot of that right there. You're going to need a piston and an observer everywhere you see that, and you're going to need a slime block everywhere you see that right there in that layout. And now that you've got that screenshot, I want to point out a couple things to you. Again, we are starting out at the two most furthest modules on one side, and we're adding that flying machine on that side. Now we come in, we skip one, and then we do another flying machine here, and because the center one has only one and we can't bring that all the way across, we do a little square like this, and then that has a piston on it which will push that forward and keep it in sync with all the others. And same thing on the other side, we start at the last outer two, come in, skip one, do the next two, and then we do a single one for the middle one. Then right behind that, we go ahead and shoot this one just like this with this one, and as you can see, there's no piston over here because it is getting pushed by one piston over here. Anytime you have a flying machine that has a piston on it already, you do not need a second piston to push it, otherwise that piston will be grabbed and it really won't do anything, so it's just a waste of material. And then as you can see, every single time you have two of these flying machines, it's getting pushed by another one just like this, and then the final one is a single one just like this up to the back, up to the main engine, which we've built a couple times too. And then that's all the same, and all you need to do from here is extend these slime blocks. And so once you've got that laid out, you should be able to come to your boat, make sure that you have all of your TNT inside of all of your dispensers. You should be able to flick your fence gate now, and you should see that your modules get pushed forward just like this. All the TNT gets dispensed, and even though it falls, it's going to explode right in front of us. And if you wanted to expand this all the way up to 12 modules, then this is the layout that you would need. So go ahead and take your screenshot of that. It's exactly the same type of flying machines. We're starting out at the furthest two, out to the edges on both sides. We're coming in, as you can see, on the first layer of flying machines. And as you can see here, I've actually made a mistake right here. This is what happens when you add two pistons and you don't need two pistons. You can go ahead and take one of those off because it is being pushed by one over here. So definitely make sure that if you have two pistons like that, that they're all working. And let's see here. I think everything else is looking good. So go ahead and take a screenshot of that now. and I'll let you guys go ahead and do that. And again, I've laid these pistons and these observers out sideways like this so that way you guys can see them, but however on the very final flying machine the observers go on the bottom, and that's because we do need to power this piston right here. This observer here could go on the side here, but I've put it underneath for symmetry, and this back flying machine never really changes. It's the same one that we've been using the entire time. The only difference is that this arm gets extended to reach that observer, and so far we don't need a second piston in the middle right there. We're still under the 12 block push and pull limit. So again, go ahead and take a screenshot of that if you need to again, and that's the layout that you're going to need. And as long as you have that in place, then go ahead and test your machine. If you open up this fence gate here, you should see that all of your machines get flown forward and all your TNT gets dispensed at the same time, and everything explodes at the same time. And if you'd like to go up one more size and build 14 of these, then this is going to be your piston layout down below. So go ahead and take a screenshot of that. And as you can see, we're pretty much following the same pattern over and over again. And it's just making sure that every single flying machine has a piston behind it to push it, and it leads all the way back up to the back engine back here. So now you guys should be done taking your screenshots now, so go ahead and make sure you do that. And the only difference here is that we had to add a piston, a sticky piston, and an observer right here because we did reach the maximum 12 block push and pull limit, and so we had to add another slime block here to reach this final engine. But once you've got 14 of these machines installed and you've got the flying machines behind them to push them all forward, you should be able to come right here to your fence gate. You should be able to open these just like this, and in a moment here when all that flies forward, you should see that all of your TNT gets dispensed and all the TNT explodes at the same time just like usual. And then if you'd like to expand this to the full 16 modules like we have here, go ahead and take a screenshot of this piston layout in the back. And as you can see here, it's basically the same thing over and over again. We have a flying machine here that pushes 2 of these modules forward, and we started the last 2 over here. Then again, we have a flying machine behind that that pushes 2 of these machines forward. We go ahead and skip these one. Then we have another flying machine that pushes these 2 forward. And then we have those 2 arms, this arm, that arm, that arm, that arm that leads all the way back to the final engine. So make sure that you have all of this in place, and once you do, go ahead and take a screenshot and build it just the way you see it right here. And then once you have that all in place, make sure all your dispensers are filled up with TNT, and you should be able to come right here to your fence gate, go ahead and activate it, then go ahead and watch all of your machines dispense their TNT, and they should all explode at the same time. And even though they fall, that's just a falling animation like I've said before, and they all explode just like that. And as you can see throughout all that testing, we never had another end stone break. We only had this one break throughout all the testing, and therefore that's why I say just go ahead and use end stone, because it's going to be dependable. If you have one break, just replace it with ancient debris. It's going to be the cheapest way to build this thing. But other than that, this thing is fully complete. It's at its full size, so hopefully you guys are either going to build 1, 2, or even 16 of these. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. I hope you guys find this super useful, and I hope you guys actually build it. And if you guys do, please send me some pictures of it. I'd love to see this thing fully expanded in some of you guys' survival worlds. So be sure to go down in the description, look up on my social media links, and send me some photos of what you guys have built. I really like to see that. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you guys did, be sure to smack the like button for me and subscribe if you guys are new. I'm Broken Bones, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Take it easy, everybody.